those of you who live in small towns. What is the current local controversy all about? While fleeing another hit and run and possible DUI, some dude tried to go full speed directly through the middle of our town square. The problem with that is we have a big historic fountain there. Traffic is usually supposed to swerve around the fountain. He did not. This dude in a white sub ramps into our fountain and smashes into the center pillar. Thankfully the fountain was off for the winter, so there was less damage. But they still have no clue how and how much money it's gonna take to fix this mess. The car was removed, but the fountain is still wrapped up in its tarp a month later. There's security cam footage of the ramp and it's all anyone could talk about for a few weeks. About 2 years ago the mayor of the town I live in got caught with drunk driving his lawnmower down Main Street at around 2 AM about 6 weeks after being elected. 2 places make dill dip. One accused the other of stealing the recipe. A guy wanted to bury his parents on their parents, slightly rural, totally out of the way, virtually no neighbor's property. But the village said no way. We don't do that here. We are classy. So he went to the state for permission to build a funeral home / crematorium instead. And he built a giant mausoleum with both their caskets right on the corner of the property where everyone and their grandma can see it when they drive by. And he has zero plans to actually turn this into a functioning business. It's about half done. No landscaping and construction vehicles parked all over the place. Gotta hand it to him. I was back in my old small hometown over Christmas. The local newspaper carried the headline "Woman Abused in Local Park." I was initially shocked that such a thing could happen in my safe town. Until I read the detail that a woman had asked some teenagers if they were really old enough to be drinking those beers. And they told her to bugger off. Front page. Lead headline. Town of about 1800. The girls' volleyball coach got a DWI. The school's principal went to pick her up from jail and was arrested for DWI himself. Somehow it got out that these two, both married, were having an affair. Not current but it needs to be documented in history. The serial catnapper. A couple lost their cat, so they went knocking door to door in our town and came across their cat crying in a random home's front window. They call the police who arrive and find 50+ missing cats, along with a fucking graveyard of cats in the garden. Some that had been missing for up to 7 years. It culminated in the catnapper, a 50+-year-old woman, stuffing as many cats as she could in a car and going on a police chase through our little town. Most of the cats were identified and taken home. A very small few went to rescue centers. And the catnapper is currently going under mental health treatment. Apparently she just took home any cat she saw while on a walk for the last 7 years. This happened about a couple years back, but I had to tell the tale. A couple promised a lot of cakes and fancy breads to the local festival and didn't delivered. Everyone is mad at them for the last 2 weeks. The larger town next door wants to close our small post office, but that may cause our general store to close. The general store is the only store in town of 860 people. We have not one traffic signal. Only 1/2 mile of paved road. We have the last still operating one-room schoolhouse in the state, Vermont. US senators and congressmen holding a press conference at the general store soon. It's a David vs Goliath shit show. Our mayor posted a bunch of revenge porn photos of his ex on Reddit. His office and home were raided in August. Charges were announced in November. He finally stepped down from office last week after his plea bargain was denied by the judge. And his trial is set for April. Shortly after his arrest, his current fiancée called a DC radio morning show to defend him on air. I'm sure you can imagine all of the drama. Swans in the local rivers/lakes have been dying from avian flu, and we've all been warned to keep our dogs away from sick or dead swans in case infection spreads to humans. My country is the size of a small town. One problem at the moment is that we have these things called roundels. They are kinda like roundabouts, but no one has right of way, and there's no lanes. You just drive wherever you want, and people are getting super angry about it, even though nothing's bad happened since they opened them. People here in my town of 396 still upset that the local Christmas tree was taken down and thrown away with all the lights still on it. The woman who just got elected mayor owns most of the property downtown, and all the open seats on city council went to her employees. Can't wait to see the corruption in action. Deleted. Travel baseball. There is a new organization in town that is absolutely blood-sucking money out of parents of 7 to 12-year-olds and they have no clue. The HOA wants to increase rates by $2 a month, but can't articulate what it is they do. And all the stuff we thought they did is actually done by the city. So people care on principle and are attending meetings for their $24 bucks a year. Small town with 3,000 inhabitants. Everyone knows each other. Everyone knows where everyone works, who is related to whom, and so on. Still, my cousin doesn't know who is the father of her child. Delala from the Love Song Request radio show that's been on for like 30 years lives here and has been trying to convince all the downtown business owners to paint their storefronts pastel. It's a real kerfuffle. They're still trying to figure out who is black. The village has 249 people. On the census everyone reported white, except one person who reported biracial or something, and now the demographics show that the town is 7% black.